Is it possible my biology just doesn't allow me to run fast? I didn't evolve for this. Crying emoji.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I relate.
Okay, so instantly I have to put everything in quotes. You have to define your own fast. It comes down to you. What's your fast?
Yep.
Because my fast is different from your fast, which is different from their fast, which is different from that chick's fast right there. Everybody has their own definition of fast. You have to qualify it on your own. Now, is it easier for some people? Yes, there is always going to be easier for some people just because it's the way their body composition is. It's just a matter of the right approach and, really kind of finding your way to get there. I mean, if you're really worried about, being fast, the first thing you got to do is you got to run fast. And it's not about how long you can hold on to it. It's really just that you can do it. Whether it's you start and for a couple of weeks you're only doing like 30-second little intervals, and it's like, okay, well, that's really short and it's nothing. Yeah, it is, but repetition, and you start to work on it, for a couple of weeks, then you
and that really works on this.
Yep. And then
which is the battle.
Yep. And then you add 10 seconds, 15 seconds on top of that, so that you're doing 45. You keep everything, you keep those escalating, and then you start to shrink the amount of time you get to recover, and all of a sudden, before you know it, it starts to connect.
Yeah. I don't think it's biology. I think it's this.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. Do you recommend basing training paces on current race fitness or goal race-based fitness? And if it's current, how frequently do you reevaluate and readjust?
I always reevaluate.
Yeah, you have to. It's kind of a little bit of both, isn't it? I mean,
well, it is,
to
because
train for your goal.
there's where you are and where you're going. Okay, so we had this conversation before on the run. Okay, one of the things people do when they are training for the marathon is that they spend too much time training for the marathon. Pace that you're going to run the marathon, generally speaking, is not a labor, right? No. Well, I mean, if you're... My point... Okay, let me qualify that by saying it is not a labor in the small.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're only doing... If you go to do a workout and you're doing a 4-mile tempo or something like that, and you're doing it marathon pace, 4 miles at marathon pace is not... It doesn't kill you.
It's not even my 10K pace.
Right. So, but 4 miles at half marathon pace...
Just kidding.
Is a little bit more, or 10K. So, I mean, it is effective to not always think of marathon training as being that pace specific, because yes, you do want to run your miles at it and get acclimated to it, and it's more important on the longer runs, but in the in the midst of training, you kind of want to go faster all the time. That way, when you do go that little bit slower pace for the marathon, it doesn't feel like a labor.
Yeah.
Right? You want it to be comfortable, so going a little bit faster is going to help.
Makes sense.
Which is why you're getting all that.
And it's working. Kind of.
Sort of.
Brain.
Yeah, we'll take care of that.
Wait, hold on. Someone asked that question, and I wanted to know it as well.
Which one? That question.
Now that you just brought it up. How do you mentally push through discomfort instead of giving up? Kelly Roberts. And everyone else.
We partially had this conversation already.
We've had it like 8 times, so I just want to have it again.
Yeah, but pushing through... Okay, here's the difference. Pushing through it and then being okay with it. 2 different things. Being okay with it is just something that you're going to have to find. Yeah. Pushing through it is sort of the result at the end of things, I think. So a lot of people that I talk to that aren't local, they run alone all the time. And when I have them do something where that is threshold pace or something where they're basically at that point where I can hold this, but I don't know how long I can hold it. Okay, when I give them those kind of workouts and they run alone, these are the ones where people have the hardest time, because they're alone. There's nobody watching them, and you're like, oh, this is too hard, right? And it's easy. This is where you crawl back, and this is why I'm always they're telling people that if you can get someone to go with you, doesn't matter if they're on a bike or you have them at a point in the course, or you just have them meet you with water somewhere. It makes you stay focused on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, and the more you run outside of your head and sort of in that moment, it's going to help, versus crawling up in your head, because in the scheme of things, you're always going to be able to tell yourself that there's a million other reasons why you can't be doing this stuff.
Yep.
But let me tell you, when you find the reasons why you're going to do it, it will all change.
This I kind of think is like the only silver lining of what happened to me on Sunday during Queens versus last weekend, because they happened so quickly between each other that when I felt this say, I'm done, and which is literally the text that was playing in my brain. Like, I literally was telling myself, I'm done. I, for some reason, said, like, no, I'm almost done, and kept going. But then when that happened at Queens, like, I was running with my friend, and he kept, like, outrunning me and kept being like, come on, let's go. I gave up. Like, I literally said,
well, that gets it,
go on, I'm done.
Here's a couple things. Pushing through the barriers. Race more.
Yep.
Okay, why race more? Okay, because when you're in a crowd and give yourself as many distractions as humanly possible. Okay, there's tons of people in the race. There's people you don't know that you can eyeball and pick off as you go. I mean,
yeah, I did that during last weekend and not this weekend because I didn't know anyone.
Road kills is helpful. I think in terms of really trying to push through the stuff that hurts the most or is the toughest, I mean, racing more often.
I think it's proving to yourself that you can do it.
Yep.
Because then feeling how you feel after that and compare it to how you feel when you don't, like that, it's like night and day.